How are you doing, everyone? Hope you're okay, and I hope that life is treating you well. Bit of a different setting here from a weekly video shoot, answering your questions that you sent through a couple of weeks ago. I'm just about to do a one-on-one coaching session, so I thought you could have some trees in the background rather than the banner for a change. One of the questions I got sent was about planning pre-season and in-season training in a community club. And the coach involved sent me a structure of his pre-season, and straight away I looked at it and came up with this response, and I'd like you all to hear it. Most coaches plan pre-season where they do the sort of fitness first, and then a bit later in the pre-season they start getting the ball out and all that kind of thing. Well, I'll be honest with you, I think that's 1980s stuff now. It needs to be put in the past. Particularly at a community club, you've got maybe 2 sessions a week, 1.5 hours each. If you're lucky, maybe an hour each. You've got minimal time, really. And you've got to try and hit as many birds as you can with that one stone, to use a phrase. So you've got to try and get them skilled at the same time as getting them fit. The other thing I did with this guy's programme, because it happens so much in Rugby League, and it happened when I was growing up, and I still see it now. We tend to leave the most complicated stuff on our programme towards the end. It's like 2 weeks before the season. So if you imagine exit and good ball tactics, attacking tactics, right? If you think about good ball, that tends to be 13 people moving in different directions and having to get combinations right. Exit tends to be quite simple. It tends to be around the ruck or maybe +1 away from the ruck. It makes sense to me to do the most complicated thing early in your plan, so the players get longer to practice it and get it right, and do the simplest things a little bit later in your plan, so that when they pick them up, they can just add them to the things that they've done that are most complicated. So with my plan, what I do, I always do my good ball strategy first session of the year. First session of the year that's not... so, for example, my first session of the year, I normally do a 13 versus 13, see what players I've got. And then after that, my first training session is a good ball session. I did it last week with my team. And then we moved to the middle of the field, which can be an exit set or a good ball set. Now, here's another tip too. If you're in a community club, the chances are not all your players will train all the time. Correct? Right? So what I do is I have a 4-week cycle of work, okay? And I constantly go over that. I literally just repeat the 4 weeks constantly. They don't look the same. I package them differently. So say, for example, let's say ruck plays is one thing you want to cover, right? You've got week 1, Tuesday, Thursday, week 2, week 3, week 4, okay? If one of your players turns up every Tuesday but not Thursday, they're going to miss half your content, right? And you've got a programme for that as a coach. So let's say we're talking ruck plays. I would alternate the ruck plays, for example. I'll do them on a Tuesday sometimes, on a Thursday some other times, to make sure those players are getting them. But also, by the time the second cycle comes around, I do the ruck plays in a different manner. So I might be teaching the same thing, but I'm doing it via a game or via a different drill. Does that make sense? So I suppose when it comes to planning, draw up on a matrix what you want to do, right? All the things that you need to coach. If it's going to take you longer than 4 weeks to coach those things, I suggest you're coaching too much at the community level, right? And basically, throughout your year, do those 4 weeks differently all the time, but hit the same targets. Because the other thing is, you might get new players as well, and you need to teach them things. I know that's quite potentially difficult to understand when it's verbalised. So if any of you want to reach out and write and ask further questions about that, I will answer. And if I don't think verbalising it in a video is the way, I'll write it out for you, okay? But the 2 main points are, do your most complicated things early, so the players have longer to learn them and get them right. And 2, 4-week cycles, roughly. That could be 3 weeks too, that's fine. But make sure that you plan for those who aren't going to be there so that they get the same amount of learning as best you can. A couple of weeks to go now till the second aim higher course in Brisbane North. It's available for players between aged 7 to sort of 17, both genders. Doesn't matter what club you are at. If you are at Sanford Stags, there is a discount code going around for you. So speak to your coaching director and your coaches at your club to get that. Okay, so if you're a member of Sanford Stags, a registered player, you can get a discount on the next aim higher course. But it's open to everyone from anywhere really, but I suppose North Brisbane, any club that you're at, come down. The next aim higher programme is not going to be quite as fitness based as the one that we've just had. I will teach you some things regarding that, and we'll have guests that come in and teach you some things, but it's going to be more of about tapering your fitness and making you faster, more powerful and sharper, but also the skill upgrade, because as I discussed with the staff over at Sanford Stags, most players have missed out on a year, or it's been a truncated year, it's only been half a year or 10 games or something like that. That's a massive gap in everyone's development, and this aim higher course in particular is designed to fill that gap in terms of player development. The feedback on the first aim higher course has been awesome. People have loved it. We've got 2 weeks left here at Slacks Creek actually. If you can't get to any of those, reach out, have a look at rugbyleaguecoach.com.au, have a look at our courses. There's no reason that I and my staff can't coach you, right? Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I had something else to say and I can't remember. What was it? I'm sure it'll come to me. Anyway, I think I'm getting old and forgetful. I need to shave this hair too, it's getting too hot. All the best, speak soon.